Alright guys, welcome to another video. So today, you guys can tell by the title, we're actually going to be changing the spark plugs out on this thing. So over here I have, also my GoPro is actually charging right now. Over here I have NGK Iridiums. Now what these should do is provide a better, more consistent spark, which allows it to burn fuel properly, and it helps with throttle response as well. And it burning fuel properly should help to keep my AFRs a lot better. So right now the GoPro is charging, so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to actually start undoing stuff, which is going to be kind of problematic. We really should. There we go. So I'm going to undo this, which is just this tab on it. There we go. Undoes that. And take this one off as well. Wow, that one's a lot more stubborn. Okay, that one's off. It's pretty freaking easy actually to undo. There we go. Oh wait, that's actually for that. Okay, that works. I should be able to undo that one. There we go. Get it off pretty easily. Get the spark plugs out actually. Take this out of the way, put that there. Oh yeah, I'll be able to get the spark plug out. So these are the ignition coils. Now we're gonna have to undo all four of these. Should be just as simple as pulling the clip on it, but. Alrighty guys, so basically all you have to do is just pull this little tab back and then pretty much really like pull it off. It's kind of actually a pain, a little bit, but just like that. That's how it's supposed to go. So I'm going to get the rest of them undone, and then I'm going to pull the bolts out, and then I'm going to basically take out the old spark plugs. So I will see you guys in a second. Pull those out of the way now. I'm not going to lie, some of them were pretty much really stuck in there. What I had to do is pretty much push up against it with this. What I recommend is being very careful, because just in case, you know, I don't want to damage anything on this motor, especially. It's a little dusty, not going to lie. She is a little dusty. Probably should clean her out, but that's a problem for another day. So now I'm going to grab the socket that's going to fit these. God, these suckers were tight on there. I don't like that, how tight they were. Because the thing I found out with these ignition coils on this plastic is that they can pretty much pull the studs out pretty freaking easily, and they can also crack the ignition coil thing. So that's why I'd be very, very careful with them. Don't tighten them too much. If anything, I suggest just hand tight. So, but just like that, they pretty much should just pop out. I need to not lose this bolt and keep track of where all the ignition coils went as well, but they should just pull out. Okay, one of these is going to be pretty much off kilter. If you guys can see where that is, it's right up against the firewall. But as you guys can see here, we now have access to the spark plugs, and may I say, everything looks really, really clean in here. Wow. You can tell this engine has not been driven all that much. But anyways, yeah, it looks like they did kind of use some grease for them, but it didn't work all out. I don't know that well. Anyways, I'm gonna go get the other side out, and then I'm gonna start pulling spark plugs. Alright guys, so note to self. If you want to place a bolt right here, just don't, because or else it gets lost in the never-ending abyss and you have to fish it out with a magnet. So, alright, now we have all the ignition coils out. I'm going to start pulling spark plugs. I've actually sent out a mat over here so I can keep an idea of which cylinder is which. That way when I reinstall the ignition coils, I would have gone with aftermarket ones, but I didn't, mostly because these things are expensive as heck. So I already pre-gapped the spark plugs, so what I'm going to be looking for is I'm going to give the car a test start whenever we put them all in. I'm also probably going to switch to that camera, but I already pre-gapped them, and so if I gap them right, there should be no misfires. So So anyways, we're gonna get started on pulling these spark plugs now. What I suggest using is a 5/16 magnet one. Now here's the thing, I would use this to actually untorque the spark plugs, but I'm not going to because, well, actually I might actually, now that I think about it, but I'm gonna need a breaker bar. So that, guys, we got the first spark plug out. I don't know which cylinder number, but I'm going to actually set them up right there, and then I'm going to box them after I'm done unloading those ones and then number them each cylinder. But I can tell you this, that doesn't look like there's any anti-seize on it, and I'm definitely putting anti-seize on these, on the new ones before they go in. But look at that, that is crazy. Alright, so I actually opened those to allow airflow because my GoPro is actually getting hot. That is one of the issues with these things, is that they actually get really, really hot for no reason. But this one is set to go in now. Oh, let's stick you in. It doesn't actually look like it rained either, so we should be able to go for a test drive with this thing on the bright side. God, how many times do I actually have to do this? I have to think about it. Okay, I will spin it by hand now. Oh my god, these are cooked. Yeah, I can definitely tell they got hot. See, that's also another thing too. I live down in the south where it gets really hot, so it gets like 90 degrees here where I live, and well, those aren't really, I guess I can turn that off. Those aren't really meant for high heat environments. See, these NGK iridiums, they are meant for high heat environments. But yeah, but as I was saying, so a year ago I bought this car, and it pretty much stayed stock. It barely left my garage. Now, the plan was to always do something like this with it, and I wanted to document every single thing I ever actually did on it. So then I would always have a memory, because this car was pretty much my dream car, and it was also a project that I've been playing ever since I was pretty much, it was either 16 or 18. Something like that. Now here I am actually doing it. Alright, that one's in. Okay, that one's in. So it just wasn't in all the way over here. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright, that one's on. So, ironically, GoPro overheated, and I have it chilling in front of a fan. I know, stupid, right? But now I'm going to show you guys a little trick to actually getting these ignition coils out easier the next time you actually do this job. So, dielectric grease. This will not interrupt your electricity current or whatever. What I like to do is basically, what I'm going to do is grab like a glob of it, basically stick it right in here. So what this is going to do, it's going to lubricate pretty much everything. That way it's not so terrible next time you take it out. I've done this on the Escape before. It actually works. So now we can put this ignition coil back in, and I will see you guys basically reverse process, because you know nothing ever works for me, I guess. What I recommend doing, don't be like me who thinks that everything has to have a torque spec constantly, because I'll tell you this for sure, that is not the case. Only tighten these bolts by hand, nothing more, nothing less. So that's tight all the way down now. Basically to just trying to feel it pretty much. Right there. That's good. That's good. Alright guys, so I finally got everything actually back in the car. Now we can actually go for a test startup. Which, where's my OBD2 scanner? Alright, we're gonna plug this in real quick. As soon as I can find it. There we go. Alright. Now with any luck, there should be no misfires on this sucker. Let's turn that off. So we're going to go into diagnose. Alright, here we go. Give her a test shot. A little bit, about maybe 3,500 RPMs until the spark plugs actually break in, but you know, I can't help myself. We're gonna do this. There we go. All right, here we go. I'm nervous. Yeah, no, it's actually insane. It was only 3,500 RPMs, by the way. I just want to put that out there. Only 3,500. Jesus Christ. I created a monster. I created a monster. Oh, good. Normally I could get tires that hook. Because I'll be honest, these tires definitely don't hook all that much. So, alright, I'll see you guys once I get home.